10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Every single day, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come right with your man, Captain Will. We got to go with today, y'all. I said we got to go with today, y'all. We are talking about the South Carolina women's basketball team, the three-time national champions, and the matchups that will shape the season, the key matchups that would define the season for the South Carolina women's basketball team. Oh, yeah. Follow me on Instagram at Captain Will, the OG. Follow me on Twitter at Gamecocks Talk. And if you're watching me and you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you do that. When you subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure you ring the bell so you get the notifications whenever I do a video. That's so very important. And for your audio folks, wherever you may get your podcast, you can find Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. Hit that button, subscribe, all that good stuff. So here's the deal. South Carolina women's basketball team has basketball on Friday. It's an exhibition. It's against Anderson University. Anderson University is a Division II school in South Carolina. I've heard of Anderson University back in the day when I went to Francis Marion University, Florence, South Carolina, for 2 years back in the day. And they're a Division II school. I would love for South Carolina to play an exhibition game against the Francis Marion University Patriots next year. Just spread the love. Let beatdowns come for everybody. That would be so amazing for me as a alum. But we're playing Anderson on Friday. We're going to see real basketball Friday at 7 o'clock. We'll see the starting lineup. Madina Okot, Joyce Edwards, Tessa Johnson, Ta'Niya Latson, Raven Johnson. Finally, basketball is here. I'm so excited for that. You have no idea. But the AP poll has South Carolina as being the number 2 team. That's fine. That's cool. Net rankings haven't came out yet. That'll be coming out soon. But the 25-26 South Carolina women's basketball season is not going to be given to us. They are going to be various different opponents that are out for blood against South Carolina. We're going to talk some recruiting, not tonight. We'll talk about recruiting tomorrow night. I'm not gonna step in that tonight. I'm gonna step in it tomorrow night, but we will talk about recruiting because I'm getting a lot of DMs, I'm getting a lot of messages, I'm getting a lot of comments to talk about it. So much doom and gloom in the room for the South Carolina women's basketball team. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. Today, tonight, whenever you might be reading this and hearing this and seeing my face, we talk about the matchups that's going to set up the season. Okay, so there are some early season tests that will help define this basketball team. Some non-conference foes that Carolina has to deal with. Now, the non-conference schedule isn't as daunting. I like saying that word and like fixing my face and lips to say that. Daunting as it's been in the past. But make no mistake about it. There are still some teams out there that South Carolina has to play and play well in order to defeat. You have a team that is currently ranked 18th in the AP poll in the Southern California, what do they call them? Trojans. That's what they call them. That's happening on November the 15th. You have them. And with that being said, the game is in LA. South Carolina is going to beat them down, but we still have to play the game. They are missing Juju Watkins. This game is not getting all the fanfare that it was getting prior to. Fun fact, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It really does not. This is supposed to be the real USC. So the winner of this game is the real USC in my mind. So just because Southern Cal doesn't have all their players, their main player, Juju Watkins, well, we don't either. We don't have Ashley Watkins. We don't have Chloe Kids. So let's line them up and see what happens in the crypto arena. Then you have Duke, 7th ranked Duke, that we are playing in Las Vegas, November the 26th. Can't wait for that game. Las Vegas, my happy place that gives me so much joy. But that's not the only game. We're also going to play either UCLA or Texas. Both of those teams are ranked in the top 10. That is unbelievable. Those early opponents, if we win 1, 2, 3 of those games, all of those games will set us up for success in the near future. But they are very, very important for us as Gamecock fans. Very important for us. Early on in the season, this is November. You're talking about November the 5th, November 26th, November 27th. Those are huge basketball games. We'll be playing either UCLA or Texas on Thanksgiving Day. So, I don't know what your Thanksgiving plans are. Normally, it is football. It is NFL time. That's the normal thing that we do as Americans. But here's the thing. As South Carolina women's basketball fans, it is your honor, it is your duty, it is your obligation to watch the South Carolina women's basketball team on Thanksgiving Day. So while you eating your ham, while you eating your fried chicken, while you eating your candy yams and potato salad and dressing and sweet tea, and if you're lucky to get some pig feet and some chitlins, you better eat that on that day while watching South Carolina win. That is your obligation, and that is what you have to do as Gamecock fans. Nothing else. Nothing else. We have to get the ratings for that game on Thanksgiving Day so we can do it all again next year. We know that football is king. We understand that. But women's basketball got to represent on that day. And having a marquee game of South Carolina playing either a UCLA or a Texas basketball team will deliver that. Your obligation before you take your nap on Thanksgiving Day, you watch the Gamecocks. That's what you have to do. Now, with these basketball teams, there are some terrific players that play on these teams that we have to deal with. Now, Southern Cal obviously doesn't have Juju Watkins, but they do have Kennedy Smith. Kennedy Smith was a top 7 overall recruit in her class. This past season, she was all Big Ten freshman team. She is a very talented player, and I believe that she's going to get the keys to the city this season for the Southern California Trojans. And then we move on to Duke. Now, Duke is Duke is good. Duke is great. Duke is a very terrific basketball team who is recruiting well and who has an awesome head coach in Carol Lawson. They have Ashlyn Jackson, who was all ACC second team. They have Toby Fournier, who was all ACC first team, who was the rookie of the year in the ACC. They have ballers on that basketball team. They play on November the 26th, like I just stated. But here's another fun fact from Captain Will. On November the 16th, I will be calling the Duke versus Liberty basketball game on ESPN on November the 16th. It is your obligation, if you are a Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will fan and a Captain Will fan in general, that you watch that game. It's mandatory. Y'all have to. You have to. They're going to give me a mic on ESPN Plus? What? To call a game? You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Oh my God. They letting Captain Will in the dough. Oh my God. It's gonna be so much fun. Gamecocks don't have a game that day because we played the night prior. Okay, we played the night prior against Southern Cal. So you have to watch that game. It's gonna be so much fun. November the 16th. Calendars for that joint. All right, so in UCLA, come on, they got Lauren Betts, first team All-American. She's going to be the number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. They got Kiki Rice, all Big Ten. UCLA is talented once again. There's Gianna Nepkins, all Big 12. I mean, they are so talented again, and we might play them. And then good old Texas, we might see them again. Madison Booker, preseason, All-American. Preseason, SEC Player of the Year. All these accolades. Last season, All-American. Seeing her again, potentially in Vegas. There are some stumbling blocks, some early challenges, if you will, for the South Carolina women's basketball team on our quest to go undefeated in the non-conference. Okay? Then we'll move on to the conference. But for the non-conference, we knock those 3 teams out because the rest of the non-conference ain't good. You got Clemson. Y'all know Clemson's better. They are a better basketball team. So instead of winning by 50, we'll probably win by 30. And then we got we're playing Penn State this year. That's abnormal. But we're playing Penn State this year. We're playing Providence. Then we're playing, multiple small schools. We're playing Queens University, which is a school out here in Charlotte. We're playing Coppin State, which is crazy. Coppin State is in Baltimore, HBCU, and we are going to Baltimore for that game. Dawn Staley says, give me a home and home. That's what she meant. Everybody thought she was playing like there's no way in hell that Dawn Staley and South Carolina women's basketball team, the three-time national champions, are going to go to Coppin State to play. But that's what's going on. Okay. And so the non-conference, we measured through those 3 games, and it's smooth sailing until we get to the conference. And then we got to deal with the best conference in the country. Then we got to deal with a team like LSU, where we see Malaysia Fulwiley, Flajay Johnson, Michaela Williams, Grace Knox, who's a top 10, top 12 player in this recruiting cycle. We got to deal with those young ladies, okay, on February the 14th. Then we got to deal with, Texas, because we play everybody in the SEC once, at least once. So we got to deal with Texas, okay? They are talented, like I just spoke about. We got to deal with Oklahoma, Tennessee. So many different teams that we have to navigate through during this whole season to get to what we want, which is the SEC regular season championship. That's the first goal for South Carolina, SEC regular season championship. We want to get that to Ta'Niya Latson, who was just named preseason, All-American. You know what's weird? I'll tell you something that's weird that messes me up. How does Ta'Niya Latson get voted preseason All-American? This is the AP poll or AP voters. But, excuse me. Excuse me. Got me sneezing. I was eating some pizza earlier. And I guess I put too much extra whatever on it. But anyway, Ta'Niya Latson got voted eight on the AP All-American team preseason. First team, mind you, first team, but made second team All SEC. Please tell me where in the matrix is this broken? That don't even math up. And I understand that the SEC coaches apparently vote for their preseason awards, but how the hell is that delta so large? This is why, like, preseason polls, preseason awards are dumb. It's just clickbait. It doesn't mean anything. And it took me 3 years to understand that doing my show. It don't mean nothing. Preseason poll. South Carolina football team was ranked 10th in the preseason poll. Where we rank now? Exactly. It means absolutely nothing. Nothing. Because you got to play the game on the court. And we'll see. We'll do an adjustment. I'll do after about 10 games. I'll do my after 10 game. I need a cool name because that don't after 10 game assessment is too long of a name. But I'll do whatever I come up with a name for of my top 10 players in SEC or probably top 7 players, because 7 is a cool number. But right now it means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. I do want to talk a little bit about how our defense changes now and how we have to match up with these young superstars. We got to get back to the defense that we were before. I'm talking about a top 5 defense. We get back to a top 5 defense in terms of defensive rating, not about points, but in terms of defensive rating. We are back to what we are as Carolina Gamecocks, of what we know and what we love. Okay, that's what we got to do. The addition of Madina Okot, I think, brings that to the forefront. I think that brings us into that that balance. If Ashton Watkins was healthy last season, instead of having a 14th ranked team in defensive rating, I believe that we probably would have been a top 7, top 8 type defense. Now, with Watkins gone, still, with Chloe is one of our better defenders on this basketball team gone, but you add in Madina Okot at 6'6", who can defend. You have a more ready Adhel Tac, who can defend. You have a player like Ayla McDowell, who can defend. I think our defense is better. We do lose a player in Malaysia Fulwiley who could defend. So we'll see how this thing measures out. But I do believe that we have a better defensive team going into this season than we had last season. Okay, starting the year out. Also remember, last season, Watkins was out. Last season, early on, Chloe missed an early game. So there are some data that suggests of what I'm saying. There are some key offensive opportunities for some players on this basketball team for them to play very, very well. There's opportunity for a player like Tessa Johnson to have a all SEC type caliber season. She will get more open shots because Ta'Niya Latson is going to demand more attention. Madina Okot, with her being so big, is going to demand attention. So Tessa just got to hit the shots. And I believe completely she's going to hit the shots. I believe that Raven Johnson is going to get open shots this season. She has to knock them down. And I believe that she's going to knock those shots down. I foresee a faster paced South Carolina offense to utilize the real deal talent of a Raven Johnson and a Ta'Niya Latson. I see an uptick of our pace of play. I see an uptick in our points per game for this South Carolina basketball team whilst being better defensively. This is why I'm so energetic about this season. We will talk about recruiting, ladies and gentlemen, but as far as this season in 2025 to 2026, there is all smiles, rainbows, cherry limeades, white claws, chocolate dips, all those different things for the South Carolina women's basketball team. The likely contenders for or against South Carolina remains the same. It's pretty much just always going to remain the same. It's going to be Texas. It's going to be LSU. It's going to be Tennessee. It's going to be Oklahoma. It's going to be Ole Miss. It's going to be these basketball teams. And then you can have some teams that might surprise you, not us, going to surprise some of these other teams and possibly beat some of these top tier teams. I'm talking about the Vanderbilts and Alabamas and teams like that. But in terms of South Carolina, the only teams that are in the SEC that can compete with and potentially beat the South Carolina women's basketball team is Texas and or LSU. That is it. Nobody else. Everybody else is going to get whooped. And I cannot wait to see it. And then we move on to the NCAA tournament. And we move on to the, Sweet 16 and Elite 8 and the Final Four. And then we have some conversations with some of these other talented basketball teams. But in terms of our schedule, how it's currently fixated, we play Duke. Duke will be a top 7 team, top 10 team when we play them. It's at a neutral site game. It is a huge game. We have to beat them. We cannot go to Las Vegas and lose 2 damn games. That cannot happen. That I don't know what I'm going to do if those things occur. I just got to keep it real. We play our brand of basketball and we will be fine. That is the key, ladies and gentlemen. We have to play our brand. I don't give a damn about what some of these other basketball teams do. I don't care. I can care less what UConn is doing. I could care less what Baylor and Notre Dame and TCU. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. It matters on what we do at the Colonial Life Arena and how we practice and how we play. These other things don't matter whatsoever. We got to take care of business, and that starts on Friday. And then October the 30th. The exhibition game. That's the biggest damn exhibition game that you want to talk about. Us playing North Carolina and Atlanta. That's a huge game. North Carolina will rank top 10, top 12. That's huge. We can't go up there and not play well. This is big time. Oh, my goodness. It's basketball. Basketball is back, and you are hearing it from your man, Captain Will. This concludes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go. Let's go.